Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Haunted House. My name is Ghost, and welcome back to another episode of History with a Ghost. The Anzacs are a big part of Australia's military history. It is its military history. It forged the identity of what is the Australian and New Zealand military today. ANZAC stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. Today, we're talking about one of the most famous Anzacs in Australian history, and one of the two stories that changed my life forever. Today, we are talking about John Simpson Kirkpatrick, a Australian medic from World War One and the Gallipoli campaign. It is a short story, but one of my favorites, and again, it changed my life. Simpson was born on the 6th of July 1892 in County Durham and the town South Shield in Britain. His parents were Scottish, Sarah Kirkpatrick and Robert Robert Kirkpatrick. He was one of 8 children. Not much of Simpson's childhood is known, but it is known that Simpson attended the Barnes Road Junior School and the Mortimer Road Senior School in South Shields for a while before he left at the age of 13 to work. He was a milk boy for a couple years and apparently did some work with donkeys as what was known as a donkey lad. Basically, for $1, he would give people donkey rides uh, along the South Shields beach. In his later years, he was described as witty, warm-hearted, and independent. A couple years later, Simpson joined the Territorial Force as a gunner. The Territorial Force is now known as the British Reserves. The Territorial Force's job is to protect Britain from its shores. The Territorial Force did not go overseas, that wasn't its job, but soldiers in the Territorial Force could personally request to go overseas. He was in there for a while before in 1909 he left and joined the Merchant Navy. While in the Merchant Navy, he would eventually end up in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia, and when he got there, he jumped ship. He abandoned his post and started to roam Australia. He loved Australia, and wanted to start a new life there, getting away from the hard work of the merchant navy. While in Australia, he would pick up a bunch of jobs like sugarcane cutting, mining, and a bunch of other jobs before in 1914, when World War One broke out, he would join the Australian Imperial Force. He wanted to go back to England, and he thought if he joined the Imperial Force, he would be sent to Britain for training, and he could just do what he did with the Merchant Navy when he got to Australia and desert his post. But his plan fell through, as when he joined the Imperial Force, he was immediately sent to the Black Boy training camp in Western Australia, and then shipped to Egypt. Number one, Black Boy is a disgusting name for a military camp. That's just wild. But second, I don't know how he didn't see that coming. I guess abandoning school wasn't a good idea because I would have seen that from a mile away. Simpson's role in the army was a medic and stretcher bearer, and he was assigned to the 3rd Australian Field Ambulance Company. Not long after, Simpson landed with his company and division on the 25th of April 1915 in Gallipoli. The next day, Simpson was helping carrying wounded soldier back to the beach when he spotted a donkey. Turkish soldiers used donkeys to carry supplies and water. Either the donkey was abandoned or left unattended, and Simpson snatched it, using the donkey to carry the soldier back to the beach. Simpson would continue to use the donkey for the rest of his service and would become known as the man with the donkey. He would collect four other donkeys, naming them Duffy number one, Duffy number two, Murphy, Queen Elizabeth, and Abdul. Great names, I'd say. He was known to go off on his own to save soldiers, ignoring command's orders. Eventually, the command just gave up and would just let him do his thing. In 24 days, he saved over 200 soldiers. He'd become a legend by this point. Sadly, though, on the 19th of May, 1915, while bringing back a wounded soldier to the beach, he was shot in the heart and killed. Simpson is buried at Anzac Cove at Gallipoli at the Beach Commonwealth War Graves Commission Cemetery in Turkey. This man was recommended for the Victoria Cross, basically the British Medal of Honor, Britain's highest honor, and he never got it, which just makes me mad. He never wanted to be there. He wanted to go back home to his family, and yet he served with passion and joy and no concern for himself. He should have gotten it, but the world sucks, I guess. But yeah, that's about everything about John Simpson Kirkpatrick. Another one of the two stories that got me into military history. I'm glad I got to these videos. This meant a lot to me. But yeah, if you haven't go check out the last episode of History with Ghosts where we talk about Manfred von Richthofen. Um, he is the other story that got me into military history, and he's also the biggest video I've done in the History with a Ghost series. So far. So yeah. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like and a follow, and I'll see you next time. Bye.